Welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're here to give you a whip-around look at some of the latest news coming out of the sports betting industry. This week in our state and national reports, we've got some September benchmarks and September records to discuss.
A lot of records in September,
yes,
by the way.
Consistent records all across the board, looks like. Deals, we've got a baseball deal, we've got a lottery deal, we've even got a major partnership announcement from the American Gaming Association.
Yes.
Industry updates, licenses and launches. No exits this time, so that's a nice thing to see.
Well, that's nice.
And we're going to finish up with our legislative roundup with news coming out of New York, Alabama, and Tennessee. How's that for a combination?
Okay.
We'll be right back with our state and national reports after this.
Interest rates and inflation are out of control. Is your credit card debt also out of control? It's time to resolve your debt and take back control for a lot less than what you owe. If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, then you need to call us right now. Debt Fix Pros can significantly reduce the amount you owe, and you could be debt-free faster than you think.
I knew we had to do something. Our debt was growing.
It was getting out of control, and we just didn't know what to do.
We saw an ad for Debt Fix Pros. We called and they showed us how fast they could get us out of debt.
It really was amazing, and now we're back in control.
Call now and we'll show you how easy it is to fix your debt. The call and consultation are free. Call Debt Fix Pros right now at 800-479-3522. That's 800-479-3522. 800-479-3522.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. September's been kind of an interesting month because of all the records being set in terms of the sports betting numbers we're seeing from some of the states and in the country here. We're going to start off this week with Indiana.
Okay. Interesting place to start off with. Okay.
I think Indianans feel that's a good place to start for
Sure.
anybody.
Sure.
September sports betting report from the state of Indiana. Indiana became the 8th state to clear $18 billion in post-PASPA handle, and the 10th to pass $150 million in tax revenue. State reported its fourth time passing $50 million in revenue. And DraftKings reported all-time monthly highs in handle and revenue for itself.
Wow, okay.
FanDuel passed $1 billion in year-to-date handle in the state as well.
So I'm assuming in Indiana it's still the horse race between the books, DraftKings and FanDuel,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Over in North Carolina, they reported their September sports betting report, and they had their fourth 500 million monthly handle since their launch.
Wow, okay.
That's impressive.
It's a great sports betting market.
Yes.
Yep.
Never mind me being unable to read the prompter here.
Lots of sports fans in North Carolina.
Yes.
So.
Moving over to the state of Maryland, they also reported their September numbers. State of Maryland reported record state tax revenue.
If you're in state government, that's the record you want to break.
Yes.
State revenue, state tax revenue. Yep.
Not only did they break their previous record, they were almost 200% the tax revenue that they had last year at this time.
I saw that. It was like 193.7% more than last year at this time. So very impressive.
FanDuel passed $4 billion in all-time handle in the state, and what was shocking to me was the state also reported a revenue of just over $50 million from parlays, which generated a 25% hold in the state.
That old saying, parlays don't build bankrolls, they build sports books. I mean, just look at these numbers coming out of these states. Illinois is another state that, you look at parlays and how well they're doing for the sports betting operators. So, and that should be a hint for sports bettors. If something's really good for sports betting operators, it's probably not great for the bettors. Right. So, parlays are fun, but you got to be responsible for it. You can't do like a 20-leg parlay. I mean,
why not?
Well, yeah, because then it becomes a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that is.
Same odds, basically.
Just, bet responsibly, and, parlays are fun. What I've been doing is a lot of teasers lately, and since this is especially for football, this is the season for the underdog, and, it's a strange season how everyone's shaping out, and teasers seem to be fitting. I mean, it's not the odds that, parlays bring you, but, it's, you get that. For me, anyway, it gets that same kind of thrill when you're looking at a parlay and looking at what your teams are doing.
Moving over to the state of Kansas, they also reported their September sports betting numbers. State of Kansas reported record sports betting revenue for the month.
Mm-hmm.
DraftKings in Kansas set records for monthly handle and monthly revenue.
Wow. Okay.
FanDuel passed $50 million in year-to-date revenue and $500 million in year-to-date handle.
Wow.
In the state.
Yeah.
Moving over to Tennessee. Tennessee is a very odd duck right now.
Only online, right?
Only online.
No retail sports betting whatsoever in the state.
They tax
just
handle.
Okay. Okay.
And also, they don't really give a detailed report every month. They give 2 entries, basically. But they did set a record for handle in September. So
All right.
record monthly handle for the state of Tennessee. Also, $3.5 billion in year-to-date handle for the state so far.
Okay.
Last entry for the week here. We usually go to New York, but at press time while we're recording this, FanDuel's been dragging their feet on reporting their weekly numbers, so everything's been kind of held up regarding the New York Gaming Commission for the week ending. I believe it's October 6th we're talking about for that.
Okay.
We'll get to that next week. But we're going to end up this week on Delaware.
Delaware. All right.
Not many people can say that.
Well, look, I mean, before PASPA, they were one of the states where you
Yes.
can go bet, and then we were just talking about parlays. They had parlay betting
Yes.
instead of, pick a side of a game. You had to parlay there. But they did have betting before. I think they were one of the 3 that had it before PASPA. So
Yeah, and right now, what's happened in Delaware is they've changed from 888 platform to Rush Street Interactive's platform.
Yep.
And they have consistently, as they have done in September, reported record-breaking handle and revenue figures for the month.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the sports betting revenue reached an all-time high of just under $4.7 million. 20% hold, by the way.
Okay, great.
Yes.
That's who you want to see, the hold.
The
number.
hold
if
is-
you're a sports betting operator, the hold is what you keep.
Excuse the language here, but the books are kicking the crap out of some of the bettors this month. So it's kind of interesting to see this.
Okay, great.
That's it for state and national reports. We're going to head over to deals right now. Starting off our deals segment here, we're going to be talking a little Fanatics Sportsbook.
Oh, nice. Yes, I heard about this.
Now, this has been reported by several outlets, and neither party to this deal have confirmed that it exists yet. So
Okay.
at press time, we are going by the reports that Fanatics Sportsbook has reached a non-exclusive naming rights deal through Players Licensing Company One Team, and this is Major League Baseball Players Company Licensing One Team, to become the official sportsbook of the Major League Baseball Players Association.
So those are
That's
the
the
rumblings.
union. That's the
So
union.
those are the rumblings.
Right.
Those are all the reports coming out. Let me ask you. I certainly know either side at press time anyway has confirmed this. Have they denied it?
No, no
I'm
comment.
just no comment. Okay,
No
I'm
comments.
just taking this from a different angle here. So,
But it does play into what's going on in some other areas. Going with this agreement that is being reported between Fanatics and the MLBPA, the agreement allows Fanatics to use licensed players on its app, websites, social media platforms to promote its sports betting products. So name, image, likeness.
so that's pretty
Yep.
cool.
Terms of the
If
agreement.
it's true, it's
if it's
really
true.
really cool.
Terms of the agreement were not disclosed because everyone's mum right now. But like I said, there are some other happenings out in the world of sports right now. You have a lawsuit on the books right now filed by the MLBPA, the Players Association,
Okay.
against FanDuel, DraftKings, Bet365, and Underdog Fantasy for name, image, likeness usage
Oh, okay.
unlicensed.
So look, I
They
mean,
kind of play hand in hand as to why
certainly
maybe something's going on
I mean,
here.
these license agreements will
Yeah.
have to be done before you use name, imaging, likeness. I mean, I don't know what these other parties did to warrant a lawsuit, or I haven't seen anything, and I'll just go with what's being reported and what it says in the lawsuit and take a look at it from there. But, you know, it's a necessary thing. I mean, these are, I guess it falls under the intellectual property. You know, if you're going to use my name and likeness, you know, I better be compensated for it.
And the Players Association is very serious about making money off the name, image, likeness stuff
Absolutely.
for their players. And I totally understand and appreciate that as a lawyer.
It's a way to protect your members. I
exactly.
mean, you know, you don't want the name, image, and likeness of one of your players to be used in an inappropriate way, or not that they're doing
or
it,
an unauthorized
way. You
That's
know,
a better way to phrase
there's
it.
some kind of control that you have to have. A player has to have some kind of control over where their likeness is portrayed.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a very important case. An important situation here we have to deal with.
But it does go hand in hand with this reported deal.
Sure.
It kind of makes sense that this deal is being kept quiet right now while this lawsuit.
I wonder if that's why it's being kept quiet because of the lawsuit.
That's
Who
what I'm
knows?
saying.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yep. Moving over to our next deal, we have the American Gaming Association announcing a memorandum of understanding between itself and the UK's Betting and Gaming Council and the European Casino Association. Sorry about that. The memorandum of understanding is basically a formalization of the parties' commitments to address, and I'm going to phrase these the exact same way they have so I can get them right for the American Gaming Association, to address key issues facing the global gaming industry, including illegal gambling, responsible gaming, innovation, security. The agreement will also create a platform for undertaking joint research projects for all of them.
That is incredibly important, I think, and it's great that they. You know, certainly they were doing this beforehand, but to memorialize it in a written document and an agreement, it's really great, and it shows everyone's commitment to responsible
the gaming industry.
It just makes responsible gaming and innovation, and everything has to be, I think, formalized to make this industry strong. So good on them. Yeah.
First project under the new agreement will be a law enforcement roundtable focusing on fighting illegal gambling and scheduled for January of 2025.
Good.
So it's going to be involving industry leaders, law enforcement officials, regulators from around the world.
So where is this going to be? Is this going?
They haven't announced.
They haven't announced it
yet. They just announced that the first initiative will be this roundtable in January.
I hope
2025.
I hope it's streaming or something like that, so everyone can take a look at it. So yeah.
Last deal for the week, we've got Scientific Games announcing an extension with the Kentucky Lottery to continue their scratch-off game management partnership for another decade.
Nice. Okay.
This started, obviously, back in 2018, which is where the agreement began. The new agreement takes over in September of, not September, but 2028. So it starts there, another decade after that. We've got the Kentucky Lottery is basically using Scientific Games scratch-off management and portfolio management system to increase their lottery sales, their customer relationship management under the deal. Digital as well as retail is covered by this.
I'm not a big scratch-off guy. I guess that's the technical term for them now, scratch-offs.
Yeah, you're technically not supposed to use scratcher.
No. I've heard it both ways: scratchers and scratch-offs. So that's
scratch-off is.
So if there's legislation involving these games, the term in the legislation is scratch-offs, right?
Scratch-off. Scratcher.
Now, do people? I don't do the scratch-offs because you do it with your nail. I've seen people do it with keys, but most people do it with like a quarter. It has to be a quarter because it has those ridges around it, so it gives you a more effective scratch-off technique.
I'm waiting for somebody to come up with a digital scratch-off where you just take your finger over the digital card and uncover the prize.
That's like Flash Gordon type of stuff.
Yes.
So I that's good because I don't do scratch-offs too much because it's
messy.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess. I'm sorry, but you win a lot of money and it's certainly worth.
You also spend a lot of money getting one of the tickets
mess,
too.
But it's kind of
but you still can spend
and then
a lot of money getting
if
the
you do it with
tickets.
your finger, it's like all under your nail
If
and
you're
stuff
using
like
your
that.
nail.
Well, how else are you going to use it?
Key, all that stuff.
Yeah, key and stuff like that.
Edge of your phone.
No, I don't think that.
Some people have those rough edges on their phones. You can, if they can open bottles with their phones,
yeah,
and,
they also
break them.
So,
but you're not going to break anything on the lottery ticket. But Scientific Games will also provide Kentucky Lottery with their continued management of licensed properties for their scratch-off games, like the elf-themed holiday game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes.
I see a lot of those now around
see a lot more now.
Christmas time. You know, they're you give away lottery tickets for Christmas. I never give away lottery tickets for Christmas. It's a great idea. It's a nice gesture and stuff.
I'd be afraid it turns
out to be a winner. But let me tell you something. If I give my friend $1 billion ticket, I'll feel terrible. I'm good for him, good for her, whoever I give it to. But you know what?
That could have been mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had $1 billion in my hand and I just handed it away. So that's my feeling. It's always great to have the lottery. It's a wonderful gift, but I'd feel weird, if I did something like that, something that incredibly moronic and stupid by giving away $1 billion. So.
On that note, we'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports Book
on
Report.
That Christmassy note, go ahead.
We'll be right back.
Take a commercial. I don't care. I'm going to go sulk here.
We'll be right back after this.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, give us a call at 800-733-6860. 800-733-6860.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're talking industry updates for the sports betting and also the casino industry and lottery industry as well.
Sure.
We're going to start off with a story coming out of the Global Gaming Expo, which was just recently held at the beginning of October, G2E. Hard Rock International Chairman and Seminole Gaming CEO Jim Allen discussed the potential for partnerships with commercial sports books like FanDuel and DraftKings in Florida.
See, he's doing a great job, and he's doing his due diligence. He's looking at talking to other people and other companies to see what's best for Hard Rock. Good for him. That's what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, they own the monopoly down there right now.
Yeah,
so,
they are it. So,
they gotta sub-license it out some way to make even more money off the Floridians down there.
They are the belle of the ball,
exactly,
as they call it in Florida. So, I'm sure all the sportsbook operators would like to talk to Jim about something.
Well, according to Mr. Allen, he had already met with several executives from both FanDuel and DraftKings. As a matter of fact, previous to G2E, there was a Flutter Entertainment Investor event where CEO of Flutter FanDuel, Amy Howe, emphasized Florida, California, and New York as the super states that they're focused on for the company.
Absolutely. Like I said,
goes hand in hand with what Jim Allen was saying.
Jim Allen's doing his due diligence, what's best for Hard Rock, and it's great. Yeah.
I notice no one's mentioned Texas anymore. Texas seems to be way far off
Texas
right now.
is strange because it all depends. The gaming industry depends on legislation, and the Texas state legislature almost doesn't meet every year. Yeah. So it's a little
every
long,
other year.
Yeah. It's so, it's more of a timing thing. Why talk about it now when you can't do anything about it now? So,
Well, leaving Florida sports betting to esports in Ohio, we have esports betting supplier Odin.gg.
Odin. Every time I read that, I'm like, is it Odin? Like, the Viking god or something.
Well, they do
like
have a Viking as their logo, so it could be Odin.
Oh, I did not know. Okay. Yeah,
you
but
can go either way with it.
They spell it Oddin.
Yeah, it's Odin, basically.
It makes more sense that way, especially they're in this industry.
Exactly.
But Odin or Odin, I think it's Odin.
Yeah, I think it's Odin, too. It's an esports betting supplier who has now secured a 3-year sports betting license from the Ohio Casino Control Commission.
Nice. Okay.
They now have 4 licenses in the U.S. They've got New Jersey, Colorado, and Ohio, and a temporary license from West Virginia. And they also are licensed to operate in Ontario.
Okay.
Moving over to the state of Michigan, we've got another UK slot producer, Octoplay.
What was that now?
Octoplay. They have an octopus as their logo.
Octoplay. Okay.
As a matter of fact, if you remember the Captain America movie, they look like they have the Hydra symbol as their
Can I just tell you about the Captain America movies and the Marvel movies and the Avenger movies? They all blend in together with me, so I don't know
but
what
it looks
movie
just,
I have no idea what movie you're referring to.
I saw the Octoplay logo, and it reminded me so much of the Marvel movies. Yes.
All right. So what are they doing?
They are expanding into the U.S. with a provisional license to operate in the state of Michigan.
Okay. And what are they?
They are a slot producer.
Nice. Okay.
Yes. They are now expanding into U.S. real money casino gaming. They already exist here as a sweepstakes, online sweepstakes casino company.
Okay.
So they're moving into the license.
I wonder
area.
if we're going to see more and more of that. The sweepstakes companies kind of transitioning into the real money kind of things.
Well, it's as long as they got the cash flow. As long as they got the cash flow to do it, they got to get the licensing.
If this company is successful, I think you're going to see a lot of companies like that.
Well, they operate real money gaming in Italy, Slovakia, Denmark, and Ontario as well. Yeah. So they're making their move into the U.S. They anticipate more states coming down the road.
Good.
Speaking of states, we have another state, Massachusetts. The Commonwealth is welcoming Lotto.com into the state.
Oh, okay.
It's the 11th state for Lotto.com. This comes on the 50th anniversary of Massachusetts, and I did not know they were the inventor of scratch tickets in 1974.
We just talked about scratch. No, I almost said scratchers. I know
scratch tickets.
Scratch offs.
Scratch tickets.
Okay. I almost said scratchers.
That's the professional way to respond.
So it's 50 years
of inventing it.
Oh wow!
I did not know they were the inventors of scratch tickets. Yeah. But this is the 11th state for Massachusetts, and they are entering the state with the first ever digital scratch offering.
Oh, okay.
So
didn't you say something about that?
I mentioned that, yes.
So
now, like I said, this is the 11th state for Lotto.com.
I wonder how that works. The scratcher to digital.
We'll have to see.
So. All right.
Last story for the week here. We have Genius Sports launching the FanHub platform, which is a strategy and platform system to provide brands with an additional way to acquire and retain their customers in terms of sports betting. A lot of new analytics, a lot of new graphics, a lot of new content, but it's Genius Sports launching a new platform called FanHub for their sportsbook customers to offer their customers.
Good. All right.
That's it for the industry updates. We're going to finish up with our legislative roundup. Starting off our legislative roundup, we're heading up to New York State, where Governor Kathy Hochul has announced plans to introduce legislation in the 2025 state budget that would broaden the permitted uses of city parkland for a gambling complex. Everyone is pointing to her support of the New York Mets owner Steve Cohen's City Field casino project with Hard Rock as one of the reasons why she is putting this broadening of the legislation. We don't know that for sure.
Look, I think
she's already come out as a supporter of Cohen's project.
Well,
so
she should be a supporter of all of them.
He's really the only one that involves Parkland.
Okay.
All right. it kind of goes hand in hand with
Yeah,
that
the other
one.
ones are
Times Square is one
Times
of
Square.
them.
I saw one. I saw one proposal near the UN, which,
also
which by the way, all of them are going to be
Yeah.
a traffic headache,
Yeah.
and it's talking like I'm talking as someone who goes to New York a lot and does work there, but it's going to be great. I like the one in Times Square because it's Caesars, and one of the great things about that is they said, we're going to make deals with the local restaurants and the local businesses, and the Broadway shows that you can use your Caesars rewards card to get at these businesses, which is great. It's amazing partnership with the city around it, really becoming part of the neighborhood. But that's still a proposal. The UN one's a little difficult because it's it's in a weird area. It's a difficult area to get around in. So, but
well,
who knows?
anything downstate New York is going to be a little difficult.
Near City Field, that's it's still packed in.
It's going to be an entertainment
but it's not like a
complex,
Times Square packed in.
Yeah.
So it's a little more manageable.
Parks and fields,
a
and all
little
that
more
stuff,
development. So, yeah. Okay. Well, everyone has. I'm sure she's supportive of all the things that'll make this state and
we all
city
hope.
better.
We all hope.
So I'm sure.
Yep.
I'm sure.
Moving real quickly here in the last two stories, we've got Alabama and 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals has reversed and revived a lawsuit originally filed by the Creek Nation over the construction of a casino by another tribe under the Creek Nation reservations on what they have said is historic and sacred land. It's let me get the Hickory Ground, which has been a parcel of land these two bands of Indians have been fighting over since the Trail of Tears.
Oh, okay.
So
what did this court do? They
vacated the prior judgment against the one band of Indians in favor of the other ones. They wanted the court to go back and do a claim-by-claim analysis instead of a blanket, decision.
Okay.
We'll see where that goes.
All right.
And the last story comes out of Tennessee. Now, last week we did a story on a 1798 law.
Okay.
We are now going modern with a 1822 law.
Okay.
Yes.
1822 or 1858?
1850. I'm sorry, I'm looking at a different line here in my notes here.
There's another law that
there's another law. Yes. Right here we have 9 plaintiffs suing various social gaming operators and suppliers under an 1858 Tennessee anti-gambling law that allows players to recover all historic losses for illegal gambling, pretty much similar to the other states' law.
I mean, I think, they have a point. If these operators are operating outside of the law, I think that's one of the issues that they have to figure out is if these social gaming operators or the gaming operators are operating outside of the law or illegally. I think, certainly an 1858 law is valid if it's still on the books.
Well, here are the defendants, which are VGW Holdings, which, by the way, they're being hit by cease and desist letters in other states for their activities. But VGW has told the circuit court that the plaintiffs are misapplying the law.
Okay. Well, they could be. Who knows?
The plaintiffs are trying to get all historic losses back. The law specifically states it has to be named individuals that you're trying to get the recovery for. So don't know exactly.
So they're trying to get recovery from 1858
they're
victims?
trying for all historic losses. That's what they're going after. And again, VGW is arguing the statute doesn't quite say that. Really, you got to look at the precedent. This is just starting.
Absolutely. They have to figure out if it's an incredible overreach or if it's within the bounds of the law. So I got to tell you, when you talk about these very old laws, these cases are fascinating to me. I love to see how judges apply these laws and, how they have to adapt them to modern day. So as a lawyer, I'm fascinated by these things. But, I'm sure the public are thinking, why are they applying laws from 1858 and 17-something or other or
the
whatever?
fact that they're still on the books.
On the books.
Tells me that they're valid laws, and a lot of research is going to be done into this. So it's going to be interesting to see where that one goes.
Yeah.
That's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. As always, if you're watching on TV, there's a ticker flying by with additional news stories, both international, domestic, as well as entertainment news for the casino industry flying by below us. that we didn't talk about in this half hour. And as always, on Monday mornings following the release of this program, there is a full print version of the Turnpike Sports Book Report, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button. Head over there. You'll see stories that we talked about, stories in the ticker, and also stories that didn't appear anywhere else in this half-hour show. They'll be on the written blog there, so please head on over there and read that at your convenience. And as always, press releases, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Keep the news coming in. We love hearing from everybody out there.
And that'll do for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.